So 2020 was so crazy, and I think everyone can agree that 2021 is only slightly better. In this time, I've graduated college, and I've been thinking a lot about how I want to move forward with my life and the kind of person that I want to be. So hello, I'm Sue, I'm 23. I graduated college in the May of 2020, and I'm on kind of a journey to discovering what life is like being an adult as a Gen Z. And so here are just 5 small steps that I've been taking and have been working on to improve my life and become a better version of myself. So the first thing is to not take yourself too seriously. I've had this trait since I was a kid where everything I do is so important. And everything that I do is either I do it or I die. And you notice this a lot when you're a kid, right? Like, if I don't have this toy or if I don't hang out with my friends, like, it's the end of the world. And I have this even now. If I say the wrong thing in a meeting, I'll think that I've ruined the entire thing. I'll have 5 bad minutes and let it ruin my entire day or even my entire week. But honestly, these are things that I can laugh off. I can move on from it, but for whatever reason, I hold on to it. I'm working on understanding that, of course, my life is not perfect, and every little thing is not a grave mistake. I remember one of my first weeks on the job, I accidentally posted an emoji on a work email, and I, to this day, still get embarrassed just thinking about that. The key thing is to remember that nobody else thinks about it. So that email that I sent out, I'm pretty sure nobody has thought about it twice. They were probably like, new analyst things happens all the time. That pimple on your chin, nobody is thinking about it. That weird comment you made in a meeting, nobody is thinking about it. You get all up in your head for no reason, and you simmer in the embarrassment all on your own. This new thing that I'm trying to get over this is to write my mistake on a post-it and then rip it up and throw it out. It's really therapeutic, but it's also sort of symbolic that this is a little thing and I'm getting rid of it and it's not important anymore. Someone had told me that I put myself to a standard that is too high and I put that pressure on myself. And it can actually hurt my performance, whether it be at work, at school, or in my relationships. So the goal is to just laugh it off, let it be, move past it, because most of the time it really doesn't matter. Number 2 is consistent learning. When you're out of college, you might think that you're done with courses. And yeah, maybe you're done with lectures and textbooks, but that doesn't mean that you should stop learning altogether. And learning doesn't necessarily have to be sitting in a lecture hall. There are now so many ways to consistently grow as a person. You can read articles, you can join an online course, you can be part of a learning Facebook group, you can have a mentor, you can get newsletters in your email. There are so many ways to evolve your mind. And it doesn't have to be boring. I think that's something that people forget. I think a lot of people think about, reading a textbook. But do you think about, listening to a podcast as a way of learning? Do you think about reading interviews, reading articles? I, for instance, just got a subscription to Architectural Digest. I realized I have such a poor eye for design, so this would be really helpful in understanding colors and patterns, which is something that I actually really enjoy. I also started following a YouTuber who gives great advice on speeches and talking. This is something that I have to do often in my work. I have to give presentations and I know I'm not the best at it. So by watching YouTube clips in between my workday, I can gain a little more confidence and learn something that I hope to be a very important skill for me. I also found that it's really great to join a community. If you're in school, this is really easy. You can just join a student organization. As an adult, it's a little different. For instance, I was part of a Facebook group for the kind of job that I wanted, and there are a lot of different newsletters and Facebook groups that allow you to be informed about new things that are happening in that group, but also to learn more about skills and areas of growth. You can choose what you want to learn and you can choose how you learn it. I think it's more of a step forward because it's hard to get that ball rolling, but once you have it, you can get really excited about it. Step 3 is to have a hobby. And you don't have to be good at it and it doesn't have to make you money. And I'm gonna say that again because it's something that I want to get ingrained in everybody's brain. You don't have to make money from it and you don't have to be good at it. I don't know what it is about hustle culture that makes people think that every little thing they do in the day has to make them money, but that's not always the case. And you don't have to be a pro at it from the beginning. Like, you can be a jogger without winning a 5K. You can be a writer without submitting your essays for publication. You can have things that are just for yourself. And it's actually been proven that that is a great way for mental and emotional stability. I also think that there's something about starting something new that's embarrassing. I remember I tried to go ice skating, and I have terrible balance, so I wasn't very good at it, and I felt embarrassed. I'm not sure why though, because it was my first time, so obviously I wasn't going to be great at it, but I would fall on my ass and I would get really embarrassed because I was in front of other people, even though they were strangers. I think it's important to try new things, have hobbies, and not to get embarrassed if it's not something mainstream or whatever. I noticed this during COVID lockdowns, is that people like to have hobbies that are trending. I was also a part of this, where there were stages in COVID where people were all making bread, and then there was a stage where everybody was tie-dyeing their clothes. I was really guilty of that. Just do your own thing and do what makes you happy and what excites you. It can also be a huge break from your work of maybe taking care of your kids or being in meetings all day. When you are doing your own thing and getting in the zone, you're really just relieving your own stress. And that way I feel more focused. When I'm, painting or reading, I feel a lot less guilty about that time spent than if I was scrolling aimlessly on social media. Because I feel like I'm productive even if I'm not making money or if I'm not being a pro at that area. Step 4 is to make goals, but understand that they can and will change. I think a big reason why people's New Year's resolutions fail is because they have this idea and think that if they don't stick to it meticulously, then it should all fail. So if you made a goal to go to the gym every single day, and then on January 7th, you forgot to go, then you might not ever go back to the gym again because you feel so restricted by this goal. I think a lot of people have this misconception that goals should be for, a year or something. But I love making monthly or trimester or weekly goals. I have financial savings goals, like I want to have X amount of money in my savings account. Or I have goals like I want to read X amount of books in a month, or I want to eat 3 vegan meals a week. And they're just small little things that I know I can handle and get excited for. Again, they don't have to be serious, and make them realistic, specific, and understand that it's okay if they don't pan out. If you get sidetracked, that's okay. You can change the date or adjust the goal as necessary. Trying to be specific is really important for me. If you say something ridiculous like, I want to lose weight, what does that mean? How do you know when you've gotten to that goal? And as you continue to create goals that are both big and small, you'll understand more what you're capable of and what motivates you to become better. The last step is to know your worth. And this one is so hard to do. I'm still really working on it, and it's really difficult for me. It's a trial and error, and it encompasses quite a lot of things. I started by negotiating my salary at my company and recognizing really truly the value of my work that I put in. But I want to say that I was trembling and shaking during that conversation because I was so nervous about what to do and what to say. Then I started cutting down my time with people that aren't worth that effort. So people who weren't valuing me, I decided to sort of say goodbye to them. If they are using you, then you gotta show them that there are other people who are worth your time that you would rather be with. And whether that's a different partner, a different company, a different friend, you just gotta show them that you don't want to be treated that way. That's your worth. This is so much easier said than done, but I can give a great example of this. A couple of years ago, I was on a flight from Atlanta to New York. I purchased a business class seat. When I got to my seat, the girl next to me had said, "Hey, do you mind switching your seat with my boyfriend? I want to sit next to him." I said, "Okay," and she handed me her boyfriend's ticket, and I looked at it and it was an economy seat. I went back to her and I said, "Hey, you gave me an economy seat when I was supposed to be sitting in business class." And she said, "Yeah, but you already agreed to switch with him." And I didn't know how to react. She was so bold, and I'm not great with confrontation. I was seriously considering sitting in economy just to help out this girl. Luckily, a woman was listening to this entire conversation and she backed me up and she said that this girl was trying to bamboozle me. And that's when I felt emboldened to stand up for myself and say, yeah, she's right. You need to stop trying to take advantage of me because I purchased a business class seat. The thing is that we have the power to control our worth and what people give to us, but it becomes really hard when we're brought up with confrontation that makes us uncomfortable. I think you have to know not to accept anything less than your worth. As I say this out loud to a camera, I'm realizing that there's so much I need to work on and learn from, but these are just small steps, and ultimately I hope that they lead to larger transformations into becoming who I really want to be. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.